PvP we've seen on this map already. Stop rubbing your hands, man. It's not that cold.
No, this is anticipation. This is, I can't wait for this to happen. Rotterdam is in the back doing the same thing. He's like, oh my god, I can't wait for this.
Builds,
I can't wait for this.
On Tal'Darim Altar, builds have been pretty linear for a long time, just because, again, there's no ramp between the main and natural.
Well, you say that. Finale versus Sangho really changed. Shook things up, man.
It's true. And
shook things up.
That's exactly what I was talking about, because in Tal'Darim Altar, or maps like Tal'Darim Altar, people find that you can be really defensive with an advantage that you can go straight into production. You can go from 2-gate to 4-gate. You can go from 2-gate to tech and be relatively safe. It depends a lot on how you scout your opponents. Now, we've been seeing less and less scouting in PvP as well. People have actually been relying a lot less on probe scouts because you can't trust what you see. In fact, a lot of times what you see doesn't tell you anything.
Correct.
If you see 2 gas before cybernetics core, that can mean almost every kind of tech play.
It gives you like tiny little indications. Here, I'll give you guys a little lesson right now. See this assimilator? It takes 30 seconds to make. So if I go into your base and I see, oh, okay, you don't have a second assimilator. Well, then they put it on directly after that. That's 60 gas that you're losing. That's it. Let's say if I had my gas rolling and you didn't have your gas. It's 60 gas. It's not that much. So there's a lot of different things. It's still a huge amount of variation in the builds, even though you scouted out with a probe. And that's very, very important that you actually mentioned that, Frodan.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, with that said, HasuObs is going to scout in the bottom right. And I think what makes HerO such a weird guy to go up in PvP is that he uses the most interesting builds. Like he's the one who kind of does like Warp Prism 4-gate, and he's the guy who like does a bunch of like really interesting blink timings and whatnot. But it's also because I think you can't really predict what HerO can do, because his micro is so good that almost in any situation that he's approached, HerO is able to really adapt to it. I remember watching him play Squirtle, and he had like really good ideas. But of course, like the small little things like microing the Stalker versus Stalker, Squirtle is just very, very, very good at. And that's what ultimately caused HerO the end of his GSL Season 2 run.
Yeah, I think, I mean, HerO's micro is still impeccable, don't get me wrong.
It's really good. It's still fantastic. I think it's easily one of the top 3 Protosses.
I think Squirtle is a very tough comparison, because it's like Squirtle is unlike any other Protoss that exists out in the scene right now. So,
well, I'm just saying when you matched up.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, and HerO has a very good win rate in PvP as well, 65%, and then HasuObs is hovering around 51%, not necessarily his best matchup. HasuObs, of course, much better versus Zerg and Terran, especially if he can get his turtle. But look at this from HasuObs. He cancels the second gas, and he's going to place 3 more gateways for a 4-gate. Yeah, there he goes, 3 more gateways. So this is a total mind game, and again, what we were saying, you can't trust scouting in PvP, and HerO is he's going to get immediately chased out here. Now, is HerO going to be prepared? He did go for 2-gate 3 Stalker, which is very standard, but unless he adds another gateway soon, oh, he does. But if he didn't add a gateway, he would have been in a lot of trouble with Protect.
And what he's trying to do is just get the Stalker count advantage. That usually kicks in with the 2nd and 3rd warp in, not so much the 1st warp in. So if he can survive past the 1st warp in, he'll be in a pretty good position. But right now, HerO has the Stalker very out of place. Now, 2 additional Stalkers are going to meet up over here. Oh my gosh, Hasu needs to be so careful right now.
But HerO has a huge Stalker advantage. Now, the pylon did drop, and HerO does not have Warp Gate done. He does have a 3rd gate about to finish, but he can still hold off this 4th gate as long as he keeps his Stalker count high. And you can see immediately the warp in has been revealed, and HasuObs is going to put in 3 more Stalkers, but 2 Stalkers about to pop for HerO. He needs just time. And is HerO going to be able to get up in time? He's changing his warp gates as fast as he can. And you can see Hasu does back off, needs another pylon closer to his opponent, but HerO does get another swipe with his Stalkers and has to keep his 5th Stalker alive. And you can see he's going to try to see if he can corner him. But Hasu does end up getting outnumbered immediately, and HerO's going to get the Stalker advantage. Hasu's going to fight at a disadvantage, and you can see immediately HerO, it looks like he's in the clear for now, but another warp-in is imminent.
And look at this, it's mostly Zealots, 2 Zealots and a single Stalker, and that's all he can really do. There's not a lot of gas that he has to work with only 1. One is up, so you can see just the amazing amount of Stalkers really putting the punch into his attack.
Great targeting from HerO as well, picking off the probes. Now, he is messing up just slightly, but of course he's trying to stutter step and kite back, but he has to make sure he gets the shot off. You can see immediately he's dancing around the Zealots. HasuObs chasing as best as he can, and it's a pretty decent position for Hasu if he had the Stalker count, but he doesn't, and he has to back off yet again.
Absolutely beautiful. HerO is up by 9 supply at this point, and he's just going to keep warping in Stalkers. This is the power of 3 gates against 4 gates.
Yeah.
And it really gives you that extra boost of units, the extra boost of Stalkers, and that's what you really have to wait for. The second round is, if you can survive the first round, you're in a really good position. That's exactly what happens.
Absolutely. The retention is so important. You can see HerO is pressing in. He senses how close he is. GG gets called out, and HerO takes game number 1 with a 3 gate to defend the 4 gate. And that was just a very well executed defense, just because, again, what is the biggest weaknesses of Yonghwa's 2-gate 3 Stalker? You have to micro and really catch everything out of position. HerO did that fantastic, spent his chrono boost perfectly and got everything in time. And we were saying HerO needs time, HerO needs time. He bought just enough. And as long as you keep your first initial Stalkers, it doesn't matter if they have 1 extra Zealot, 2 extra Zealots. You can always squeeze it in, and that's the power of 3-gate.
Definitely. The power of activity with those 3 initial Stalkers really bought him that time, and he just carried in for a win.
All right, so looks like we're going to go for game number 2 in just a moment. We want to thank Azo, the people who provide monitors for NASL Season 3. Check them out at azo.com. Don't go too far. In just a minute, we'll have game number 2 between HasuObs and HerO. Find out what happens after this break.